I said, excuse me. This isn't. Do you have the national?
Would you like to send a message by video to Congressman Faso?
That's right.
Yes, I'd love to. Well, I have several of them, but the main one, I guess, right now is I wish you'd show up for these town halls. I mean, I'm sure that if everything was going well for you and people were enthusiastic and supportive, you'd show up to bask in all the love. So it's also your obligation to show up when we're not happy. And right now we're not happy. So do your job and show up and hear what we have to say. That's what I have to say today.
Hi, Congressman Faso. I would like for you to support an independent investigation of the Trump-Russia ties. I'm very concerned about what's going on in his cabinet, especially now that we found out that Attorney General Sessions lied to Congress about his meetings with the Russian ambassador. So I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Please do not repeal the affordable health care. Just adjust it, tweak it.
Would you please ask for a special prosecutor to investigate what's going on with the Trump administration and its contact with Russia, its previous contacts with Russia? Just too many questions.
Hi, I'm Christine. I'm from 12477, and I would like you, Congressman Faso, to work for your constituents and not big business and the Republican Party. That's it.
Mr. Faso, I'm on the school board at Kingston. The proposed cuts to education will be devastating. We really need to protect public education. It's the cornerstone of our democracy. Thank you.
Save the ACA, their access schmaccess, that access to health care doesn't matter if you can't pay for it.
We feel that the Affordable Care Act, you have to keep the individual mandate, because if everybody isn't paying into it, then it's not a real insurance system. It's only a system for the people who are already sick, and they're going to pay a very large premium if you don't bring in everybody.
My name is Doc Roberts, and I'm here because people here want to have you to come and tell them about what they're going to do with the ACA, because the people here in your constituency want to know that that Congressman is thinking about them and thinking about their future and thinking about all the people here who voted and who will vote again to make sure they protect their health care, because health care is a human right and you've got to protect them, and they want that. And they want to see their Congressman show the support for these people out here waiting to hear from what you're going to say. Thank you again for your patience. Thank you.
Mr. Faso, I am a resident here of Kingston. I'm one of your constituents, and I have a lot of concerns about the issue of health care, reproductive rights, clean water, clean air, and so many other things. And I would like you to come and speak to us about all of these issues so we can tell you what our concerns are. Not in a small group, but in a large group. Thank you.
Hi, I live in Kingston. I'm a new resident to Ulster County the past couple of years. I think you have a fundamental disconnect when you say that you're not going to do X, Y, and Z. You're there to represent what I want and what we want, not what you want. I think you need to bear that in mind. And you know what we want. Thank you.
Hi, my husband and I live in Copake, New York. We are your constituents, and we are hoping that you are supporting the investigation with an independent investigator. We really would like Sally Yates, and we would like a lot of things. But I'm glad that you supported the environmental. It was at 63 or whatever it was, but we were very happy you did that.
Congressman Faso, women across the state and across the country depend on Planned Parenthood and other healthcare providers for all types of sexual health care, not just abortions or birth control. And if you don't vote for women, you're against women.
Hello, Congressman Faso. This is Ruth Levine. I'm in your district. I'm a constituent, and my zip is 12477, Socrates. I'm concerned about this undocumented guy, Joel Guerrero from New Paltz, who missed an appointment 7 years ago, and now ICE has arrested him, and he's on a deportation list, and his wife, who is a citizen and pregnant, is, of course, unjustifiably terribly upset, as are many of your constituents. We are hoping that you will step in and intervene and correct this miscarriage of justice in a similar fashion that Maurice Hinchey used to do when he was the congressman. So, I will be contacting you to see if indeed that is happening. Thank you so much.
Hey, John Faso, stop avoiding us. Come out and visit with us. Hear our message on saving affordable health care. It's everybody's human right.
Hi, Congressman Faso. I'm here again to complain that you're not challenging Donald Trump. This is a man who's called the New York Times and the Washington Post enemies of the people, and you have nothing to say. He's trying to destroy the Obamacare, and you have not come up with anything, or has your party yet. Where are you? When are you going to speak up? Why can't you be like John McCain has become and challenge somebody who has become president who is irresponsible, unpredictable, and dangerous? Hope to hear from you.
So, Congressman Faso, since you didn't show up, I kind of checked out you on Google and places, and I had a question. I came across this information that said that in 2010, you were charged by the Attorney General of New York State with issues around lobbying. You apparently have a history of lobbying for the Pilgrim Pipeline. And I was very curious because you paid a fine of over $550,000, your law firm, let me be clear, paid a fine of over $550,000 and were forbidden to lobby for 5 years. And then there was something later in that period where you were actually, it was involved the Ponzi scheme that affected a lot of small businesses in the area. And you actually paid for a pretty hefty fine for that too. I was curious if you could address those things and just explain to me what they were about. I would really appreciate that since you're supposedly representing us in some kind of honesty. I had some questions about it. Thanks.
Mr. Faso, or your constituents, not your opponents. See you at a town hall meeting.
Hi, Mr. Faso. My name is Kevin McDaniel. I'm from Sullivan County, and I wish you would come out and meet with us because we're not going to hurt you. And it is, after all, your job to hear your constituents, and me and all of the people here and lots of other people are your constituents, and we really need to be heard, and we hope you will come out and do your job and listen to what we have to say. Thanks a lot.
Hi, Representative Faso. My name is Chris. I live here in Port Ewan. My understanding is that you only won by 20,000 or so votes. We're going to make that up in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. If you're voting along with your Republican colleagues saying that we need to reduce regulation, well, I've got some news for you. When the EPA was created, and since that point in time, carbon emissions have gone down 70%, and the GDP has tripled. So please stop, because we know the truth. Okay, and as far as military spending, well, let's see. We spend $568 billion on defense, and Russia spends $54 billion. We have, let's see, there is a aircraft carrier that the president stood on yesterday. It's called the Gerald Ford. It was commissioned 12 years ago, and they've so far have spent $12 billion on this aircraft carrier, and it's still not ready to go. It's still not ready to function for the Navy. All right, these are just small issues. If you're voting in line with this, I'm not going to be. I'm not saying anything derogatory with our president, and he is our president at the moment. Okay, but if you're not paying attention to your constituents will make sure you know about it.
Concerned that he not repeal and replace Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act.
It sounds to me like the plan that's being formulated is not going to cover a lot of people, especially at the lower end of the income bracket. So I'm very concerned that he not support the efforts that are going on in Congress to repeal and replace. And that's just one issue, but I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you.
I am deeply disappointed that Mr. Faso is not speaking up for the citizens of our community and the country. He is not my congressman. He does not represent the best needs of this country when he supports Paul Ryan's nonsense as an excuse for medical coverage for all. That's it.
We need to save the Environmental Protection Agency, and we need to strengthen it, not get rid of it. Thank you.
I'm here today in part because I'm concerned about my Medicare and the fact that the congressman supported the OMB person whose mission is to get rid of Medicare. I also care about the EPA, this refugees, immigration policy, Russia, whatever corruption is there. There's a whole list of things. But mainly, I'm concerned that anyone could support a president who is guilty of being a serial sexual predator. After that, I don't know where you go from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, they don't like